It's a lot to think through, but our guests this hour are here to help, so let's meet our first panel. Dominique Jackson is best known for playing Electra Evangelista in the hit FX TV series Pose. She's also a model and an author. Alphonso David is the president of the Human Rights Campaign, and Eboné Bell is editor-in-chief of Tag, a magazine focused on lesbian, queer, trans, and bisexual people across America. Glad to have all of you with us. Eboné, one issue that the Black Lives Matter movement has had to deal with is this pushback phrase, all lives matter. And so now we're seeing protests, and it seemed like it was just an hour ago that was a thing. And now we're seeing protests and pride marches that say, all Black lives matter. What do you make of the merging of these two things? Does it concentrate the social impact? Does it dilute it? How do you see it?
Well, all lives matter is completely separate and absolutely ridiculous from all Black lives matter. Of course, we know all lives matter. I think all of us have tried to explain this to people. We understand that, but right now, our Black brothers, sisters, siblings are being murdered right in front of our faces. Also, as both of the other panelists spoke, Black trans women are still being violently abused and killed on the streets, sometimes at the hands of our own community. So it's important that we recognize that all Black lives matter and all of our voices matter. We are on the front lines. As it was mentioned before, we had a Black trans woman and a Black lesbian throw the first brick, throw the first punch in Stonewall. So we continue to show up for our Black community, and it's time for the Black community to start showing up for us, because we really are in this together. We're not just gay, we're not just Black. We are Black and we are queer.
And Eboné, I think the other aspect of that that's worth noting is that now feels different from then, because then all lives matter was meant as a sort of a throwaway to just kind of make the argument disappear, as if everybody didn't already know. Isn't everybody's life important? And it felt like the pushback was, well, no, if everybody's life was important, we wouldn't be having this conversation in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a little bit disheartening that it took Black Lives Matter for everybody to all of a sudden say all lives matter. That never was a thing until Black Lives Matter. And so I would question the people that say all lives matter. What is it about Black Lives Matter that triggers you? And really think about it and do some soul searching for sure, because we know you matter. But right now, the pandemic is here. We are in a pandemic within a pandemic.
We saw a few shots of Pride celebrations. Before I ask you about that, Eboné, can I just get your sense, since we're talking terminology, what is your sense in terms of the way that we refer to one another? I see where Dominique is coming from 100%. I hear Alphonso use a slightly different term. I, as a journalist, tend to follow journalistic conventions where we tend to use either LGBT or LGBTQ just for sake of brevity. How do you see it, Eboné?
Sure. So I'm also in the media industry, and so we've taken on LGBTQ, but I know that we are talking about extending that because we have to practice what we preach. We talk about inclusivity, and so that's exactly what we need to do. We want to be a part of something. We want to be a part of the voices, the movement, but we can't do that without the IA+. So I agree with Dominique. We need to make sure that we're inclusive of everyone. I get it that, as far as writing it down on paper or saying it, is a little bit smoother when you say LGBTQ, but it's time to bring in our other brothers and sisters and siblings and be inclusive, because we can't ask for the same thing and then leave out a whole nother section of our community.
Yeah, and I understand the brevity argument also, but if we can make time in the past to refer to homosexuality, we can say LGBTQIA. It is the exact same number of syllables. So I'm going to take Dominique's advice and I'm going to extend it for the sake of this conversation, because I do take your point about it. So we say an LGBTQIA for the rest of the day. It is decreed. Next order of business. Eboné, let's talk about Pride celebrations. I'd like your sense about LGBTQIA Pride celebrations today, particularly because some cities have a separate Black Pride celebration, separate from or maybe as part of a larger Pride event. Back in 2017, Philadelphia updated the rainbow flag to include a black stripe and a brown stripe representing people of color. How do you see this gap between how whites and people of color may express pride differently?
Sure. So just really quickly, I lost sound there. So I'm assuming this question is for me.
Yes.
But, you know, I've heard a lot of times people say, well, why do we need a Black pride or Asian Pacific pride? You know, it's all about everyone with, you know, pride. Here in D.C., I was just saying Capitol Pride, for example. I think it's important for people to understand that we need spaces where we can relate to people. I was explaining to folks, you know, we've been quarantined, for example, for a long, 2-3 months now, and we've been inundated with negative news and images and administration that, you know, is anti-LGBTQ, and that's all we're seeing. And one of the things that we're missing are self-affirming spaces. Again, it goes back to, of course, all prides matter, but we need to make sure that we have that self-awareness and also that self-affirming space. And that's what Black Pride does for Black queer people. There are just certain things that we deal with that are a little bit different than other people. And it's important that we have that space to communicate that.
You know, in one sentence, just one sentence, if there was one piece of advice that you would have given your younger self to prepare them for whatever 2020 is right now, what would that one sentence of advice be? Alphonso, let me start with you. One sentence of advice to your younger self.
Never give up, never forget you.
Ebony?
Stay strong and stay vigilant.
Dominique?
Get the shoes, baby, get the shoes, and stand on their necks till they respect you.
And Alphonso, we had a little audio issue the first time. Repeat your sentence, if you would, please, before we go.
Never give up and never forget your capacity.
That is Alphonso David of the Human Rights Campaign, Eboné Bell of Tag Magazine, and Dominique Jackson of Pose on FX TV. Thank you all very much for being with us. Much appreciated. Well, much more to discuss as we continue.